Health insurance premiums are going up. But, Alex, we ain't seen nothing yet. When it comes to inflation, this is just the beginning. The price increases that Americans have been enduring are only going to get much, much worse. They're going to turn up the heat. The government's going to try to claim that all this is good for us, that they saved us from a falling cost of living, and instead we should be happy that everything is more expensive. But nobody is going to welcome a higher cost of living. And your best defense against that, as I said, is to protect yourself, to get out of your dollars, to diversify internationally. I've been telling your listeners all year why they need to get into foreign stocks and out of the dollar. The returns have been absolutely incredible on our foreign stock portfolios. I mean, just enormous. Precious metals, gold-related stocks. I mean, and I think this is just the beginning of a big process, but people can't wait much longer. Given us what you've missed out on if you just haven't been involved the last. Well, sure.
Let's talk about timetables. You like to go out on limbs, but you like to be somewhat specific. Just around your own table, talking to folks at your company, or talking to your brother, or talking to family that work with you. What's the real prospectus in Peter Schiff's mind? I mean, there's no way this bubble goes on forever. It's already collapsing many areas. You've got all sorts of countries in turmoil with food riots, and Venezuela is basically almost a cannibalism. You've got all sorts of insanity taking place in the Middle East. Third worlds are collapsing. They're flooding the West. Western governments are opening the door to unskilled, diseased people. I mean, it just seems like a death wish from our leaders. So how bad is it, and what's the timetable?
It's worse than you could imagine. Brexit is just a small example of the problem that, the global financial system can be so impacted by this decision that in a healthy economy with a healthy financial system, it really would be no big deal. But because we don't have a healthy financial system, because we have this bubble, that's why this is a problem. But look, more and more people, mainstream people, I'm hearing people talk who now realize that this is the ninth inning of this thing, this whole experiment with Keynesianism and fiat money. It is very, very late in the game. The time is running out, right? The clock has been ticking and ticking, and it's going to stop. And you can see that. I mean, it's the day of reckoning is getting closer.
Sure, Ron Paul's big event, of course, you were his chief advisor, running for president, financial advisor. What is the big event for new listeners? I mean, this thing can go different ways, but again, in Peter Schiff's mind, how's this big event probably get triggered?
No, it's a monetary collapse. When you see what happened to the pound sterling as a result of the Brexit vote, it dropped by 10%. Look, the real drop is not just going to be in the pound, but in all the world's fiat currencies, in particular the U.S. dollar, which is at the center of this whole, Frankenstein's monster when it comes to a monetary system, and it is going to implode. And this dollar crisis is going to make the financial crisis of 2008 look like a Sunday school picnic.
What's going on at Deutsche Bank?
The way it impacts people's standards of living.
Sure. What's going on at Deutsche Bank?
Well, look, I mean, that stock keeps sinking and sinking. The stock is much lower than it was at the depths of the '08 financial crisis with the failure of Lehman Brothers, when people thought, everything would collapse. And this stock is trading substantially below where it was then. So even if you bought Deutsche Bank at the bottom of that decline, if you were dumb enough to hold it until today, you're way down. And the fact is, if these European banks are in so much trouble, the American banks can't be too much far behind. So this crisis is brewing. That's the reason the Fed can't raise rates. That's the reason they're going to cut rates and do QE, because they know how desperately they need to prop up these banks. Of course, we don't need it. We need these banks to fail. But the government needs to preserve this illusion, and so they have to keep the bubble inflating at all costs.
Peter, when you see, not just here but in Europe, leftist presidents and leaders trying to sick mobs of people on the police, it's like something out of The Road Warrior. If the police start not responding, which is already happening in more than 10 major cities, from L.A. to Chicago to Philadelphia to Minneapolis, I mean, just all over, because they're getting shot at, not getting supported, then everything collapses, looting begins. Why would the social engineers be wanting to do that? I mean, are they wanting to hasten a collapse? I thought the Democrats would want to stall a collapse out until a Trump presidency and blame it on him. Or am I reading too much into this? They just have leftist ideology.
I think the Democrats are pretty sure that Hillary's got this in the bag. So I don't think they're planning on a Trump presidency. We'll see if the voters can surprise the pollsters just the way they did in the UK in voting for the Brexit. But, there is going to be, I think, rioting and looting, especially when we have a currency collapse, because I think then you're going to have shortages. I think the government is going to impose price controls, and I think there's going to be a problem for people to get goods and services that are in short supply, and the government creating artificial shortages rather than allowing prices to find a true market level. But, you know, the politicians always come in and try to take advantage of a crisis and use it to expand their power and promise more government help is on the way from the crisis. But I think by then, people might have figured out that it's all this government help that is the problem. It's government that's the crisis. And the real solution is to get rid of government and go back to the free market principles that made America great in the first place.
Let me ask you this. Internal pollsters with Trump, who are very accurate folks, you know, they're not putting out pipe dreams. They say he's dead heat in most areas. In battleground states, he's 4 to 5 points, some areas 7 points ahead. But Hillary just keeps putting out fake polls saying she's winning by 15 points. You're an astute guy. I know there's a lot of election fraud involved. That gives her a lot of points. A lot of folks are embarrassed to say they're for Trump, so that kind of gives him a leg up in some respects. But I got to say, I mean, if Trump really does get rejected, then it shows that America almost deserves what it gets, because he's not perfect. I know you disagree with some of his economic policies, so do I, like the low interest rates. But at a certain point, I mean, if America rejects Trump, they almost deserve what they get.
Yeah, and, you know, if people don't know that Hillary is a crook based on what just happened with this FBI investigation, where basically, you know, they come clean about all the horrible things that she did, all the things, gross negligence, things that no rational person would have assumed you could do. She did all this stuff, and she lied repeatedly under oath to Congress. Yet despite all this, the FBI says, you know, we don't think there's any evidence here, because even though she did all this really bad stuff, we don't think she realized it was bad. And, you know, and the guy started talking about mens rea, which is your state of mind. And he said, you know, we don't punish people who don't realize they're doing something wrong. Yeah, what about my father? I mean, you know, my father believed 100% in what he was doing. He did not believe he was breaking any laws. He believed he was following the law and following the Constitution. But in his case, mens rea went out the window, and they put him in jail as a political prisoner. Does any rational person believe that Hillary Clinton, a lawyer, a trained lawyer from a high-powered law firm who was 8 years the First Lady of the United States, was a senator from New York, and then the Secretary of State, does not realize that what she did was wrong, that having a private server unsecured in her own basement and using her own personal cell phone
what about the tarmac
to communicate
meeting?
Top secret information, you know, from foreign countries, that she doesn't know that that's wrong? If she doesn't know that that's wrong, she is not only incompetent to be president, she shouldn't even be mayor of a small town, you know. But I think she knew exactly what she was doing, because she knew she was involved in so much illegal stuff with her and her husband, so many bribes and kickbacks and all kinds of stuff, that she wanted to hide her communications from the American public. And in so doing, she jeopardized the national security of the United States. She shouldn't be in the White House. She should be in the big house along with her husband.
Absolutely. And just going back to your dad's case, we should talk more about that, just the evil. I knew your dad well, probably had dinner with him 10 times. I had him on my show probably 100 times. Incredibly funny, incredibly smart guy. And I remember in the Las Vegas Review-Journal, it was like the judge said, I will let you out and not give you a sentence, but do not sell this book anymore. It was like the federal mafia. And your dad said, no, it's my First Amendment right. And he spent, what was it, like 13 years or something in federal prison, wouldn't recant, then they wouldn't treat him for cancer.
Alex, they never actually offered to let him out. I mean, I don't know where you get that.
I was in the Las Vegas Review-Journal before they sent him.
Cancer, they wouldn't let him out.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, they never offered. I mean, you know, my dad would never admit, but my dad didn't even want to get out of jail, you know, on compassionate release. He wanted to get out on the merits. But despite that, I tried to get him out on compassionate release, and there was no compassion, because they wanted him in jail. They wanted to keep him in jail because they didn't want him out, because they wanted to make an example
obviously
of him.
He's your dad. Say, hey, you know more about the case.
If you defy the American government.
Sure, obviously, Peter, you know more about the case. I just remember back at the time having folks on about it. I mean, it was in the Las Vegas Review-Journal that the judge in an earlier hearing said, look, you keep publishing this thing, we're going to put you in prison forever. And then your dad kept doing it. And then I remember at one of the hearings, it came back up and he said, no, I'm going to keep doing it. And my point is, he was an incredible guy.
Back down. He stood firm for his rights and for his beliefs, and he paid the ultimate price for that. But once he was in jail this last time, they never offered to let him out. I
mean, exactly. I'm just saying your dad was a hero. I'm just bringing up the fact that they did say, quit publishing it, we'll leave you alone, and he wouldn't do it. He was put in federal prison for his book. That is incredible.
Well, I think, that's part of it. I mean, obviously, that's not the crime that they charge him with. They trump up all these charges of, tax evasion and things like that. But the reason he was in jail is the same reason any political prisoner is in jail in any corrupt regime anywhere in the world. It's, governments want to silence the opposition. They want to make an example of somebody to try to keep the people in line.
You're absolutely right. But getting off your dad's case, very, very sad one, but also very encouraging one, how honorable he was. Look at the IRS persecution, though. And Obama never got in trouble for that. And MSNBC says, oh, yeah, right-wingers and libertarians deserve to be persecuted. I mean, have the Democrats not turned into like a brown shirt group of authoritarians?
They don't get in trouble for anything. We are no longer a nation of laws. We're a nation of men. And if you're the right man, or in this case, a woman, then you're above the law. The law only applies to the little people. And then again, not even if you're doing the right thing, they take the law away from you. They take the protections away from us that are afforded by the Constitution. So we lose our constitutional rights, and the government ignores all the constitutional restrictions that limited their power. Right now, they have unlimited power, and of course, they're corrupted absolutely.
Wow, Peter, I always say this to guests, but I've been asking some of the questions here. Looking at the world, what are some of the triggers for, instead of just a slide into inflation and a depression they never announced, but that we know we're under? What are some of the triggers? I mean, could it be cities going under, states going under, Puerto Rico and these so-called deals, the Brexit, Deutsche Bank? I mean, there's so many triggers out there.
These are all warning signs that there's too much debt. That is the commonality. Puerto Rico is broke, but America is broke. Puerto Rico is just a small microcosm of the overall country that is even broker than Puerto Rico. And we've reached the tipping point. You know that when you have interest rates at zero, when you have all this quantitative easing, this shows you that we've reached the end of the rope, right? We've gone from the sublime to the ridiculous, and how much more ridiculous can we get? I don't think much. There's, I know people say, oh, Peter, years ago, you were sounding the alarm. Yes, I know. I sounded the alarm early, but, at least I knew enough to sound it. At least I knew enough to be alarmed. And the bottom line is, it's the people who protect themselves early that aren't going to be wiped out by this crisis. It's the people who don't know that it's coming. They're the ones that have the most to lose.
Sure.
They don't even know it yet. I mean, remember how much people were surprised by the 2008 financial crisis? Nobody in the mainstream saw that coming, even when we were on the eve of it.
But you predicted it.
This is a much bigger crisis, and they're going to be surprised even more, and they're not going to get bailed out next time.
Well, that was my next question. As domesticated as people are, what do they do when there's finally a really serious collapse or massive correction? I mean, it looks to me like the bubble's much bigger than it was 8 years ago. I mean, this is going to be explosive.
Of course it's much bigger. If they would have let it deflate 8 years ago, we would have had more short-term pain, but it would have been productive pain, and we would have built a viable recovery on a solid foundation. Instead, they blew more air into an even bigger bubble, and now the pain is going to be excruciating. No problems have been solved. They've all been exacerbated. And yes, people need to take action now more than ever before to at least protect their wealth. That's all I can help you with. I can't help you, do anything else, but at least I can help you preserve the value of your savings and your investments, whether it's using gold as an investment, whether it's using it as a form of savings, using the Gold Money platform, or just investing internationally in countries that are not so screwed up, looking at New Zealand, looking at Switzerland, looking at Singapore, looking at Norway or Hong Kong or other countries.
All right, Peter Schiff, stay there. I got a few more questions on the other side of this quick break, and then I'm going to go into some overdrive with David Knight and take the phone calls for the folks that are holding, and the latest on more police shootings now taking place around the country. I'm Alex Jones, Infowars.com. By the way, we're going to have some live special reports this weekend, not just tape reports, because I think we're going to see more police shootings and things over the weekend. We're going to be here covering it at Infowars.com. I'm going to go ahead and host the next hour with David Knight and take your calls. There's so much news. I'm going to do the whole hour. We're going to go to all the callers that are holding. Peter Schiff's our guest. Just very briefly, I was already doing a special this week, 20 to 40% off on all the very best storable foods, already the lowest price we have, powered by My Patriot at InfoWarsStore.com, InfoWarsSelect.com. Takes you right to those incredible storable foods, the shortwave radios, the solar power generators, the non-GMO heirloom seeds, the water filters, the nutraceuticals, the supplements. It's all 20 to 40% off, plus 10% off when you sign up for auto ship on things that are obviously reordered and cyclical, like supplements and coffee and things, and free shipping on orders of $50 or more. and your purchase of the profit we make off a Hillary for Prison shirt or off a Brain Force or off a